Oh, I see. I see
Because you're going to
what
have
it says.
to. Economic piece.
Yeah, that's first.
Because I thought I was getting the housing piece and they said
Okay, we're live.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November Borough Board meeting. My name is Michael Mallon. I'm the Chief of Staff to Queensborough President Donovan Richards Jr. Because of a scheduling conflict, the Borough President could not join us tonight, but he sends his well wishes and thanks everyone for attending. I want to start off by thanking all the council member representatives, the community board chair people, the Borough Hall staff who are all with us here today. Tonight, we are extremely pleased to be joined by the First Deputy Commissioner of the New York City Police Department, Commissioner Tania Kinsella. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, and also welcome to, First Deputy Commissioner Kinsella began her career with the NYPD back in 2003 with the 120 precinct in Staten Island. In 2008, she was promoted to sergeant and assigned to the 68 precinct. The 6A precinct rather, and then 5 years later was promoted to lieutenant and worked at the 13 precinct in Manhattan. In 2016, after being promoted to captain, she began her executive career as executive officer, where she started her career at the 120 precinct. Most recently, before being appointed as First Deputy Commissioner, Ms. Kinsella served as the Deputy Chief of the Office of Patrol. On July 17th of this year, Mayor Eric Adams assigned Tania Kinsella as the first Deputy Commissioner for the NYPD, and she is the first woman of color to hold this position. The Commissioner is here on behalf of Commissioner Edward Caban to greet the board, provide us with any updates from the department, and answer any questions that you may all have. Congratulations and welcome once again. The floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. So I thought I was gonna stand, so it's very intimate, so I won't. How you doing? Thank you for such a warm welcome and good evening. I'm honored to be your guest here today. I represent thousands of dedicated men and women in the New York City Police Department. As many of you know, I like to speak at these forums. I'm a talker. I love to speak. Because they allow me to hear your concerns, address your issues that trouble you the most. And no issue is too little of an issue for us as the NYPD. If we take care of the little issues take care of the big issues. I've always been a firm believer in that. I can tell you that our officers on the street and in the subways are fighting crime for New Yorkers every day. 24 hours, 7 days a week, we're committed to maintaining a strong presence and responding swiftly to any threats that may arrive. However, we cannot do this alone, and this is why we're here today. Our success relies on the collaborations of everyone in this room and in this community. Public safety is a shared responsibility that we must work together hand in hand to address challenges that we face in New York City. This is why, working with the community, we have strategically placed our borough commanders, the two of the best, and precinct COs where they are. We believe that executives that are most qualified to serve your needs in the community should be precinct commanders or borough commanders. Under the leadership of Kevin Williams and Queens South, we are seeing safer streets and more community engagements more than ever before. I want to highlight the significant decrease in homicides, which have been down. For the year to date, you ready for this? For the year to date, under Kevin Williams' leadership, homicides are down by 60% in Queens South. Shootings are down, decreased 49% so far this year. This is just more than numbers. These are avoided tragedies, and countless families are kept together because of his leadership and his brave men and women that work in Queens South. Our cops are not only out here protecting the people of this good city, they're protecting our four-legged friends as well. Last week, officers from the 113th precinct selfishly jumped into cold waters in Baisley Park and rescued an 8-year-old blind border collie. I thought that was pretty amazing. The cops, without hesitation, helped save that dog's life, and doing so once again kept another family intact. There are some of the things in Queens South they're doing to protect everyone, but a lot of it is community. And everywhere that I've gone since July in Queens South, they always speak about how Chief Kevin Williams and his cops go the extra mile to make sure that the community feels safe, the community is heard, and this is what it's about, and that's why I'm here today. I also want to acknowledge the remarkable work of Queens North under the leadership of Chief Christine Bestenback. Did I say it right this time? Yes. We are seeing, under her leadership, we're seeing homicides decrease 26% year-to-date in Queens North. In the 111 alone precinct, the cops have worked really hard this year to combat violent robberies. Last year this time, the 111 precinct, is there anyone from the 111 community here? No? But the 111 it saw an increase of violent felony robberies of 186% last year. Because of the hard work of the men and women in the 111, they are down 30%. That's remarkable. Please let the guys and girls in the 111 know. That's amazing. They're not only fighting crime, they're saving lives. Just last week in Queens North, the 110 precinct made a heroic save of an individual in crisis. This man was desperately in need to talk to someone and to connect. Thankfully, these officers were at the right place at the right time and was able to form a bond and save him from jumping off a bridge. All of these achievements are a testament to the commitment that our officers goes an extra mile to protect our residents of Queens. But while we celebrate these accomplishments, it's important for us to recognize that there's much more work to be done, and we're here to make that happen. This is why I'm here today, to speak to you, to understand your needs and what you need from the NYPD. Together we can help build a greater and safer city, and especially Queens. And as Chief Williams says, Queens get the money. I stole that from him. I don't know where you steal that.
I stole it from R.E.
So thank you again for having me here. It's an honor. Queens is one of the few boroughs that I don't even know my way around Queens. I don't know anything about Queens other than that they get the money. You guys get the money? You get the money?
Get a new precinct.
No.
You want the money and the cops.
So, thank you for having me here. I look forward to building communication with you and knowing that, you have someone in One Police Plaza that will hear your needs and make sure that we try our best to cater to what you need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deputy Commissioner, and I do want to acknowledge Chief Williams and Chief Bastenbeck. We really have a great working relationship with both Borough Patrols, North and South, so I want to thank you and acknowledge your great work. And just a reminder to folks, please speak into the mic, just so that everyone can hear you. And with that, we'll jump right into Q&A.
The Chiefs want to say something?
Bigger pardon, please, by all means, Chiefs.
I want to reiterate what the commissioners. I really just want to reiterate what the commissioner said. I know we all work together pretty much on a daily basis, and it is with you that we are way more successful. And I know you've heard me say this. There may be problems that arise that we might not be able to fix overnight. But I do promise you that if you bring an issue to us, that we will immediately start working on it. The results might not be there the next day, but it will start, and we will work together to make that happen. I am super proud to be the commanding officer of Patrol Borough Queens North. I'm super proud to work with a tremendous group of people that serve this community, and it really is an honor to be here with you.
Good evening, everyone. Just like the Commissioner and the good Chief Bestenback said, it's a privilege to be here. We continue in Queens South to work with our community to make our community better. I've always said that we can have effective policing, but not at the expense of police-community relations. I think you can have both, and we continue to do that here in Queens South. Like the Commissioner said, you see some of the results in the numbers that we have this year when it comes to overall crime reduction and overall violence reduction. But also, when we talk about those stories about those 2 officers that went into Baisley Plum Park to save that dog, it just speaks to the human touch that the men and women of the New York City Police Department have to do things like that and to reunite that dog with the family. So again, it's a privilege being here. I continue and thank you for the work that we've done this year as we close out the year. And I look forward to working and hearing your concerns. Thank you.
Thank you once again. And with that, we will open it up to questions. Sure, and thank you, Khalil.
Yeah. Laura Thor, Community Board 14. I'm sure every district, every community board chair around the table is probably thinking about, with the licensing of all of the cannabis shops that are coming, and it being a cash business, we certainly, at least in Ward 14, have a concern, how are we going to manage the possibility of robberies, knowing that it is a cash business? What plan does PD have?
So currently, the licenses are put on hold. There's an injunction, so we don't know how long the injunction is going to be. But there's always a plan of action. So whenever there is a licensed a cannabis location open, the precinct commander sends the community affairs or the crime prevention officers to the location and asks the store owners, if they want to do a crime prevention surveys, to teach them the surveys. If you're not aware of these surveys, the surveys are pretty much done to discuss how to give them tips on how they can, get door locks, buzzing doors, talk about the masks. A lot of businesses now are aware that it is explained in great lengths that you don't have to open the door or serve anyone that has a mask on. We talk about, with the crime prevention surveys, they discuss many different, door locks, whereas we don't gear people towards what door locks to get, but we'll see what they have. We'll talk about buzzins, camera system, and so forth. So we're really invested into trying to prevent the robberies, but as you know, we can't always prevent it, but the officers in each of these commands and precincts and Queens are very effective of responding rapidly and ensuring that, we get there as soon as possible. But before that, we try to do the crime survey, prevention surveys, so that they can have tips before we don't have to wait until they're a victim of a crime, but rather give them the tools that they can do to help keep their business safe.
Hi, I'm Jane Kelly, Chair for Board 7. And by the way, I got #1 precinct for crime. Okay, so let's start out with who 111 is, but the 109 is the highest for crime right now in the city of New York.
Yes.
So hi, I'm the guy that's in charge of that precinct over there that's keeping an eye on it. One, welcome to Queens, and we're glad to have you here, Deputy Commissioner. I have to say thank you to the 109 guys, because them and the anti-crime, and I think it was the car theft, what was it, the car crew that did the fin etching? They did the fin etching
Yes.
for our catalytic converters, because they were going crazy over in our whole district.
Yes, I
All
know.
Queens, the residential got a beating on it. So the precinct really did a good job. The council people gave us money. I think this last time around we got almost 200. I think the time before was almost 400. So kudos for that.
Lavon Hall was
yes.
amazing. He was the mastermind behind that.
Yeah.
So like was mentioned before, I was the chief of patrol office. I was the executive officer there. So Lavon Hall will, he will report to us all the ways, because he was #1 in GLAs and cataract converters theft. So he thought about him and his team thought about the different ways how they can help combat it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good to hear
Well,
that.
just thank you on that. I also want to tell you that one is still going to ask for our precinct, because I heard you say your precinct. but I need a precinct since I've got
20
everything
years.
else problems. And since Walters Point is coming this way, we've been having talks with the PD and the mayor's office to let them know that we want our precinct, that we're gonna be compensated for the Willets Point people, that we're putting in a soccer stadium and we're putting in all affordable housing over there, that I want another stadium, because right now, Joe Sweeney is my chair for my public safety, and he's been attending all the 109s and anything that the PD is putting up to let them know that the cashier's bill is not working like everybody believed it's gonna work,
Okay,
and how we wanna, and he's been very supportive of the police, and he's got family in it too.
thank you.
So we've been fighting very hard, and we're still gonna fight for that precinct we want.
As you should.
Yes, well, I also had the police academy, so yes, thank you, I could do with another precinct, since I got the police academy served to me on a bed of roses on that one, but I just want to say thank you on it, but one of the things I did want to say is, Commissioner, your office, I'm having the problem with. The backbone for us chairs.
My office?
Yeah, and it's support services, okay, that's, it's not the patrol people, it's the support service people.
All right, so tell me.
Okay, and what happens is the backbone for us is our district managers and our staff. They put all the packages together for us. Every year we go through this game plan of budget, and we're doing it now. And I'm putting all the letters together, and we have our hearings and stuff, and then we have to put it together and stuff like that. One of the problems is when we ask for information, OMB gives us the book down, a register that says who we're supposed to contact. I've contacted now twice in a row from the precincts, from the police department, and nobody gets back to me. The deputy over there, the chief had Chief Podius contact me, and I tried to get some lady named Bridget Morris, M-A-T-H-I-S, Maris, from budget or whoever it was that was supposed to get back to me to give me information, and never got back to me.
Really? All
Yes.
right. She'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, that's what he said to me, but
Then you're just gonna have to take my word.
I take your word for it. I just want you, it's not that, it's just that we spend a lot of time in it, and we started back in June on this. And we have meetings, OMB puts up meetings with our district managers, and we go through this whole plan, and we ask general stuff, but stuff that we need on our immediate stuff, such as what's going on in the precinct, whether they need new locker rooms and stuff like that. I'm not gonna ask the chief from the Queens North on that should come out of support services, who's monitoring your buildings and stuff,
You're absolutely right.
okay? So
Okay.
that's just a heads up, and I'm very happy you're here to make my day for this week.
A man's never said that to me before, but thank you. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
and
it.
good luck with the position.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is, I'm sorry.
Benny,
Go ahead.
Benny.
Betty Brayton from Community Board 10. Thank you for being with us, Commissioner. I have to give Chief Williams his props because he has done an excellent job
He's amazing.
in Queens South. You know, my precinct is looking at probably for the first time in a number of years, looking at a decline in crime this year. As far as crime, the department is doing an excellent job. Chief Williams has been doing an excellent job in regard to one of the major quality of life issues in Queens, which is drugs. But we have many other quality of life issues that, because of the ongoing rise in crime over the years, have fallen through the cracks. We've got to get, some real enforcement going on quality of life stuff. Brian was talking, before the meeting started in regard to scooters. That is a huge problem in all of our ward areas. The scooters and bicycles, it's like the Wild West.
I agree with you with that.
My question that I want to follow up on what Dolores had to say. Right now, we are all engaged in reviewing the applications, the notifications of applications that we receive for legal weed stores. The issue with crime with the stores has been all the illegal stores. for the
Thank you,
most
Benny.
part.
Right.
While there may be a problem in the future with the legal stores, the problem with the illegal stores is huge in all of our neighborhoods.
So,
And one of the things that we need as we're reviewing this, because our hands are kind of pretty much tied on the different types of things we consider. But for those applications that we have at specific locations, if we had a better idea of the crime problem around those particular locations, you know, the illegal stores, you know, we're inventorying the illegal stores near them. But before these illegal stores kick off, we really got to get a better handle on the illegal stores.
So I agree with you, Ms. Betty. We have to, see, and this is where the community comes in, right? This is where your voices are heard in your communities. So we wouldn't know that there is an illegal shop unless there's community complaints, community concerns. So we need you to take it back to your community members. If they see an illegal shop open up in the community, reach out to the community fairs, reach out to the precinct COs. You're the conduit.
We've done that.
Yeah, and then we will work on our end to get them closed down and do what we need to do if they're illegal. Trust me. We have to make sure that we work together on this because sometimes we don't know certain locations are illegal until something bad happens.
If they got a sign in their window with a marijuana leaf, they're pretty much selling weed inside. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Anyone can have a sign of this marijuana.
For example, we had an action last week at one of the ones in my area. You know, the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the precinct, the police were fine. But of course, guy's open again, and he's going to be open again until the next time he gets, he's got to get nailed a few times before he gets
So we have a thing called nuisance abatement, right? So you have to be caught 3 times before they nuisance abating you and put into the courts to have you shut down for good.
You know, one of the things that particular location, it's a small intersection in a small community, but it's an intersection where if the bus that's trying to turn the corner can't turn the corner, it shuts down an entire community. There's a no parking sign right in front of the door of this place. And every night there are cars, I'm just going to be a minute, people jumping in and out of their cars, where any of these stores are located. If there's an ability to drop summonses, every precinct needs to be dropping summonses wherever they can around all of these illegal stores.
And when you can, before the end of this meeting, could you please give the location to Chief Williams and he'll follow up.
My precinct commander's aware of it.
But let Chief Williams be so that he can give him a little extra push.
My assembly person will be happy because she's moving into the office next door. And she doesn't want them there.
Would you please define or describe the different jurisdictions that the police have and the sheriff has, so people will know to tell their people what the differences are?
Take my question,
Thank you, Martha. That's one less question I have to answer again.
Martha Taylor.
Oh, you figured out how you doing? And what area do you cover?
What area do I cover? Fresh Meadows, Jamaica Estates, Hollis Wood,
So sheriff's office, this is the easiest way to break it down. Sheriff's office is more civil. Civil liability, they'll give you fines. Though they do have the powers to make arrests civilly. However, the NYPD is more criminal. So that's the two separate powers. Sheriff's office is more civil, and police department is criminal. Everything else.
So we have to hope that the people who are complaining know which is what, and they never do.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess when we have the next community board, your next community board meeting, maybe the precinct commander can
good idea.
Come and talk about it.
Okay.
Or maybe we could, the precinct commander, well, your community board could have a representative from the sheriff's department come and talk.
Yeah, I think we need
So
the
that-
sheriff.
Martha, can I just say, if you have an issue though, you can reach out to the NYPD, and whether it's our primary jurisdiction or the sheriff's department.
We
If
still
you
work
re-
together.
Right, if you reach out to us, we will be able to.
You'll refer it.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So
Alright.
when in doubt, you can reach out to your local community
Okay.
affairs, and we'll be able to guide you in the
You
right
know,
direction.
I mean, my constituents are pretty wonderful and bright and everything's good, but they don't know everything and they get confused about stuff like that.
Yeah, we absolutely can help refer.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
I got
Other questions?
Yeah.
I was just trying to be respectful to everyone else.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. First of all, it's nice to see you here.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
always good to see you again, Chief. And I've seen you before, Chief, but we haven't really spoken. I'm Frank Taylor, Community Board 3.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
likewise, sir.
I represent North Corona, East Elmhurst, and Jackson Heights. And our commanding officers, our officers in the 115th, 110th precinct, and our chief here is fantastic. She was at one of our meetings. I think I mispronounced your name at least twice.
Oh, every time.
So,
And she's amazing.
And she's amazing.
And
She's a
never,
good sport.
never tells me the correct way.
but we're really having problems over there. I don't know if you're aware of the, what's his name? What is he? The comptroller, Brad Landers. I'm not sure if you understand or read the report that he came out with today about the fairness and fair play, and that shelters and all this stuff are 60% more prevalent in Black and brown communities. That I've been saying for the whole time. That was supposed to change. That has not changed. We do not have our full complement of our fine police officers. A little background on myself. My father was a 38-year veteran of NYPD. He was one of the first black detectives, first-grade detectives in NYPD. I'm a 22-year vet of the New York City Department of Corrections, okay? I'm also a World Trade vet. This is horrendous. How can you have a precinct 2 where you have at least 80 officers down? That's not fair. That's not equitable. So no matter what kind of job that you're doing, it's not enough. So, you know, we're saying, when do our officers come back? And this is not from the Mayor Adams. This happened during de Blasio when he was the mayor. When Mr. Trump was the president, and they took a bunch of officers from us, and they never replaced them. Now, this is an issue that's been ongoing, and it's time for it to stop.
So the last class,
We got 20.
you got a little bit more than 20.
I know the numbers being 20, ma'am.
I think it was a little bit more than that.
So between the 110 and the 115,
Oh, yeah.
those two precincts got 66% of the officers that came to Queens North.
And I thank you for
Yeah,
that.
so.
But we're still,
But Rome wasn't built in a day.
no,
So
but-
we're getting there. I promise you, we're getting there. And nobody wants to hear this, right? No one wants to hear
No, the truth.
that.
We
No
all
one
wanna
wants
hear
to
the
hear
truth.
this. But there's other precincts that were severely deficient in police officers to the point where it was not safe. That it wasn't safe. So we have another class that's coming out now. That's coming out next month. Queens North and Queens South will get some. Queens North will probably get more. This class. So please, please believe that we see the numbers. We know the deficiencies. We we see and we know what precincts are down. So Queens North, they did get 110 and 115 did get. However, we're not done. So by the next class, I believe, comes out December 31st, Queens North will have some more officers.
Well, that's great news. But when you talk about not safe, we have a strip that's probably about 3 miles on Roosevelt Avenue that you can see on YouTube in Taiwan,
Yes, I see it all the time.
Asia, different
and
places, whereas this
Yeah.
is not safe. And not only those areas, but you have areas in North Verona, you have areas in East Elmhurst, and numbers are great. I remember when I was retiring in 2007, numbers were fantastic. You had all types of numbers. But numbers only play out to those being policed. If there's no police there, those numbers of course are gonna go down because nobody's reporting anything. And in my area, you have a big enough problem with the shelters, with migrants, and people that just live here in general that don't report anything. But yet they're scared to walk down the block. This is not fair.
There have been, you know, there's never gonna be enough work done. There's never gonna be enough work done, meaning we know the conditions that goes on at Roosevelt Avenue along that strip. Trust me, we know, and we talk to Christine quite often about it, and we do put resources between the 110 and the 115. We have a Roosevelt team task force that we built that's been robust. So we will look into possibly putting more officers into that task force. But on top of the Roosevelt task force, they also, and we were doing this for the summer, but we had an all out where on certain days and certain times, officers were strategically placed along Roosevelt Avenue. Is it ever going to be enough, Frank? Probably not. But our goal is to make sure that we try to prevent, and one victim is too much. That one victim getting robbed, one victim getting stabbed, or a victim of a crime is too much, and we don't want that. So there's consistent communication between Christine and our offices, because we too have the same concerns about Roosevelt. Please believe that. And we do address abundantly a lot of the vending, the quality of life issues along Roosevelt Avenue.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I'm not asking for more. I'm just asking for our fair share.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I want to acknowledge.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Frank. And I want to say, the Deputy Commissioner, where we have seen rises in certain types of crime, they have been mostly in Queens North. So I'm pleased to hear that you're allocating additional personnel to Queens North Precinct. So thank you for that, and certainly thank you to Chair Frank for sharing those concerns. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Deputy.
Go ahead.
Good?
Yes.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
I'll follow Gene Kelty and say that it is a pleasure meeting you. You made my day. You've also made my mother's day. My mother's day, she sees you on television, she said, oh, I wish I could be there. She's 89 years old.
Tell a blessing, Queen.
Okay, right. I want to piggyback also what Betty and Martha was saying. I'm Brian Block, Chair of CB13. With regards to we know the illegal shops, the legal shops license plates, but we have tons of illegal places within our community. I'm in the 105.
Okay, 105.
Okay, and they're doing a fantastic job. No complaints about 105. But the illegal marijuana shops have to be addressed. We've been told it's the sheriff has to go in there. So if somehow you can have meetings with the sheriff or get the mayor to hire more sheriffs, it would help us tremendously. It would help the 105 and help the officers in the various areas, because I've been told, it's the sheriff has to go in there. I've reached out to Queens.
That's what I've been told.
Right.
I've
reached out to the Queens DA's office.
Yes.
They tell us to give us the list. They have to talk to the sheriff's office. Everyone's told you have to talk to the sheriff's office. So I behoove you, please reach out to the sheriff's office to get more sheriff individuals to address these illegal marijuana shops, because that's a problem for all of us. We know the legal ones are coming, which some of us don't agree with anyway, but the illegal ones are a problem. The only issue I have with regards to CB13, the commercial strips. We have an issue with regards to double parking. Now, 105 can only do so much, but we need more traffic enforcement along Merrick, Hillside Avenue, Union Turnpike, those areas. I'm not going to say that we need to 105 to come out and do that. They have their hands full, but we need more traffic agents to handle the double parking, especially since these illegal marijuana shops have opened up. So everybody's double parking to jump out, get their weed. Traffic is backed up, buses are backed up, everybody knows this. And the officers at 105 can only do so much. So the traffic enforcement agents, I'm pleading, I'm getting all the complaints because I'm the chair of the board.
Yes.
And I'm also president of my civic association. So that's an issue. I would say the fantastic job Chief Williams is doing, but I don't want to lose him. So you know what happens when you say you're doing a fantastic job? You get moved. So I wish him well, but you want to keep him. But once again, Chief's been doing a fantastic job. What I do admire about him, he's accessible. I've called the chief on a Sunday afternoon, and he gets back to me. I never thought I'd have a chief from NYPD call me back, but he calls me back, and as well as my commanding officer at 105. But the commercial strips in my community board, with regards to the double parking, and getting more hands-on with the sheriff's office, because this is all we've been told, that NYPD can only do so much, but it has to be the sheriffs have to get in there and close these places down. So, and the sheriff can only, I don't know how many sheriffs there are, but we need more, because that's a major problem. I think I can say that for all of us this evening. And thank you for coming. I'll tell my mother I sat right next to you, so she's happy.
Thank you very much, Chair Block.
So, Brian, in regards to the double parking issues, we will definitely address that. Every week I speak to Mohammed Rohan, who's the traffic agent in charge here in Queens South, so we will definitely do that. And in regards also to the smoke shops, again, if we have a location, I know everybody says, it is a two-pronged thing, like the commissioner said. There are civil penalties that the sheriff can handle, right? But we also do nuisance abatements also when we do operations. Every weekend, every precinct commander in the city talks to every principal in their command. And we see the overlay of the problems between smoke shops around schools, and we address those problematic smoke shops. Whether it's going to be from a civil enforcement standpoint or also look at the nuisance abate them. So it's something that we are continuing to focus on. So I just want everybody in this room to be rest assured that we are addressing it the best we can. I'm sure everybody's read certain comments that were made in the paper about, giving more enforcement power to the New York City Police Department, and if that was to happen, how more effective it would be. And I think we will continue to do that. Thank you.
And Deputy Commissioner, on behalf of CB13, after 40 years, we're getting a new precinct, the 116th precinct.
Yep.
So I'm extending, I'm not an elected official, but on behalf of CB13, I'm extending an invitation to you.
I will be there.
You will be there. Okay, thank you. So I'll have my mother there so she can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, bring your mother.
I'm going to bring my mother. But thank you. 116th, remember,
I know, I was part of it.
All right, we were fighting for 40 years, so we finally got it. And thank you for the NYPD for also supporting us.
Amen to that. Thank you. Please, go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Heather DeBeers-Dimitrios. I'm CB6 chair, and CB6 is Regal Park and Forest Hills, just one little, like a quarter mile over. We just had a wonderful update from our CO, Cordano. He came to our meeting last week. He has really done a fine job. We are very happy with
What's his name?
Cordano, David Cordano. And we're very pleased. He's made some big leaps and changes. We've had a theft issue, which quite frankly, I think if you take those numbers out of what he's done, he's accomplished more than I think you see on paper. So we've been very pleased with our relationship with the 112. We've been pleased with what we're hearing. I echo the concerns. The illegal cannabis shops need to be dealt with. The scooters on the sidewalk need to be dealt with, especially the quiet ones. I have a lot of seniors in my neighborhood, and they could be right on your butt and you don't even know they're there. And that's a concern for us. But I don't need to tell you about that. You probably get your earful.
So I think in 2024, we will all be a little bit happier moving towards with the illegal mopeds and scooters, because we're looking into possibly, I'll let you in a little secret, we're looking into possibly getting the store owners that selling them. So let's 2024, there's thousands, and like Chief Williams said, we don't like to put numbers because we don't do numbers for numbers. But when attacking the illegal motorized scooters and mopeds that commit a lot of community quality life issues, crimes, the patrol in every precinct, the entire 77 precincts, the CRT community response teams have addressed thousands and confiscated thousands and thousands of these
Commissioner, DOT is putting out a scooter program. They're putting it in the Bronx.
Took it away from me.
But we're talking about illegal scooters. There's a difference between illegal.
Only in the book is there a illegal.
I'm with you, Gene.
I'm
Whether
sorry.
they're legal or illegal, our concern is the manner in which they are being operated.
So if there's
Whether it's
okay, so I
legal or not.
understand. I understand what you're saying. It's just the way they are, the traffic infractions,
Right.
almost hitting people, riding on sidewalks.
Mhm.
Now, if we view that, if we witness that, if an officer witnessed that, we write summonses for it. So in that regard, but what I'm telling you is that illegal sales of illegal mopeds and scooters, illegal scooters, that we're going to start, going after the store owners.
I'm very happy. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm
No,
just
no,
telling
no,
you, DOT seems to be your biggest enemy. They just keep pushing more stuff, and I really am.
Yeah.
I fed for you. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's
They're
fine.
coming to Flushing. They're trying to get into.
I'm here too.
But mentioning DOT kind of segues into my question, so that's fine.
Then, like you guys, everyone is in sync.
We've worked with DOT in our district because traffic is one of our #1 issues, just because we're in central Queens and it just like gets a big
It's congestion, right?
Right, and so one of the things that we had worked with DOT on was a slip lane that would come down Yellowstone, you'd make a right onto Austin, which provides relief. Because down that street, especially during rush hour, you have express buses, school buses, and tons of mama papas taking their kids to school and going to work. The problem is that slip lane is occupied by NYPD vehicles all the time. And we understand parking is brutal. I've been living in this neighborhood 23 years. We pay for parking for 23 years. And my other concern is that right across the street from the school, we are now seeing crosswalks being blocked by NYPD vehicles, hydrants being blocked. And this is a new behavior. We've not seen this before. And we know that they have an integrity officer that's been walking around. That is a very hot and wonderful idea. But we really desperately need that slip lane cleared. Because if that slip lane gets cleared, that's an entire lane that provides relief because you can no longer take advantage of that right turn lane. Now, we know we have some traffic signal stuff to work out there, and that's not y'all's problem, that's DOT, so I'm not gonna give you somebody else's problem, you got enough of your own. But if we could just avail ourselves of some of these interventions and give them a chance before we break them, because, we're trying to come up with ways to mitigate traffic. Because Yellowstone in itself is still not solved. We know that we're not anywhere near where we need to be. But we do have places on Austin Street and 71st where I counted one night because I was waiting for some friends, not because I had nothing else to do, but I literally counted 20 cars that ran the light, and we have a Barnes dance there. So you only cross once every 2 sets of lights. So your one opportunity, 2 sets of lights, you can't even cross the street without somebody being in your way. And I think that's actually a box, if I remember correctly. And so the problem becomes is that we put these interventions in to keep people safe, and then they're not functioning properly because cars are not yielding to the red light. Q23s are not yielding to the red light. You can see 2 of them trying to go through sometimes because they get stacked up because, again, Austin Street's congested. So whatever we can do for enforcement of some of these measures in our community would be really helpful because I think it would provide some relief. And I think the more that we can have better flowing traffic, the less people misbehave. People misbehave because they just get frustrated and they feel delayed. So wherever we could do to help with that, that would be fantastic. Yeah, but just to say though, this is not a hit on 112. They have been doing a really good job this year, and it's been a tough year for them because we have had a lot of auto theft down by the GCP, which is rather unfortunate. And we also, I just have to say, are thankful for the extra help the past couple of weeks since the 7th of October, securing our synagogues, securing our yeshivas, so that our folks can go to school and worship, not in fear. So I know that's taken probably some extra folks from other places, but we're eternally grateful for that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair.
Go to Sherry next and then Joy.
Absolutely. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. I wanted to start with complimenting Chief Williams, but I'm scared that will quit promotion and he'll be gone. I will have to start from scratch, so I won't compliment and say he's been doing a great job. I think he's reachable every time we do. I I want to bring up something about last night because it kind of like sums up what we've been saying at every single meeting we've had with the NYPD. I spoke to the captain, and as you know, we have a very diverse community here, and there was a huge Diwali celebration last night with tons of firework. I think they have a new one that go boom, 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 boom for like a minute. So it, you know, it went from the bomb to like non-stop. So I must say the NYPD was able to control it. They seized a lot of stuff, and they were also able to, you know, control and tone down the noise. There was an arrest I heard, which is great. But here's what happened in the summertime, and I know we're heading into winter, but we started this conversation the last winter, and we end up having the same problem that we were asking for, so I'm gonna start asking from now. This is a problem in the summer, when we have the fireworks and we have the noise, our cops are being pulled out. We actually have it on our expense request list for more cops that we're gonna be voting on. Our cops are being pulled out constantly. We have a shortage. The biggest noise, firework, all those issues are 4th of July, during the summertime, just like other neighborhoods need their NYPD, we need our NYPD. It's not a matter of saying when we're safe or when we know something's gonna happen. We don't know. We've had 3 vigils in our community board already. We had a drive-by with a guy on the bike from Brooklyn that came and he drove and he shot 3 people. Guess what? He randomly shot 3 people in our community board. So, and one of them died. Then we had a sick person that was hit, and he was in the hospital, and we lost him a couple weeks ago. Then we also had a school crossing guard, which you guys probably heard about. She lives in Betty's board, and she works in ours. She was hit. So you never know when something is gonna happen. So we're asking for our cops, because every summer it is a nightmare with noise, and there's a shortage of the cops, and we don't want to say that. If we say we have 80 cops at the NYPD, there should be 80 cops all through the year. I understand there's areas of concern and they need to pull them out, but we also had, as you could see from things that have happened in our board this past year, we've had 3 vigils. We need our cops here. And I'm not gonna wait till summer, and you know, we've been begging literally. You know, before we had our cops taken out, we had a good handle on the noise and the summer issue. We don't seem to have it because we don't have the cops to handle it. So we're requesting the 1 or 2 NYPD. There's so much that the captain can do. I don't think he should be working 24/7, nor the cops working overtime nonstop because they're exhausted. So we want a plan in place this year summer. So I also wanted to bring up about the bikes and the scooters, but I'm happy to hear about the illegal. And I know about the cannabis. We had a shop closed last week, the press reported, and the next day they opened back. So I spoke to the captain today, how come they open? That's because they seized their supplies, so when they ordered new ones, they had to get it the next day to open, and it's across the street from a senator's office. And if there's not much, the cops or the Marsh sheriff can do, because I understand the nuisance abatement take a while. They closed down 6 shops and there's 15 waiting for nuisance abatement. Maybe we should have our lawmakers. We gotta have somebody who can actually get a hand on this, because you know, I'm a parent with kids, and then these are legal shops. We're saying the legal one, we're supposed to give feedback as to how far away they are from schools, but we have illegal ones that are greater than the legal ones that are applying, and there's no rules to them. So, I mean, if I'm a kid going to school and I'm trying to explain to a kid that the legal shops, there are rules, but the illegal one, which is greater in number, there's no rules, maybe we should have the lawmakers. If it takes the lawmakers to change this, and the NYPD and the sheriff hand is restricted, maybe we should have a meeting with the lawmakers, because they need to change the law, and they need to make it that when you shut a store down because they've been selling dangerous stuff to our kids, they shouldn't be able to order supplies and open back the next day. And like I said, the biggest thing is we want to keep our NYPD 1 or 2 officers next year, because we don't know what's happening in our board. We don't know who's gonna randomly come and shoot someone, so we need our cops available. They were assigned to the 102 for a reason. Thank you.
We're gonna go to Drake, then Daniela, and
Good evening. My name is Joe Sweeney, Committee Board 7. I'm Chair of Public Safety, and thank you for being here tonight, Commissioner. And I want to say, I have to say, in reference to Chief Christine B., I'm not going to get in trouble. She has been out there. She supported the community. She's been everywhere. She's anywhere. She answers the questions, and thank you very much. I have a question, 109 Precinct. I was part of the interview process for the new deputy inspector. To mention, I'm not a captain. So I wanted to know that the interview process was, I think, about a week ago. Do you know when we might hear? Because we voted on that. I was wondering how long.
It will happen within the next few weeks.
Next few weeks. One of the, I was.
So what happens is, like, you know, there's several different commands where we say that it's opened up and they went through the vetting process. They went through the vetting process, and the commanders are pretty much chosen, thankfully, by everyone that was in this room right now. So it just, you know, it's not an easy process that, okay, we voted and then we're just gonna be, you know, there's several different, you know, layers, and we have to make sure the person that is replacing the person that was there before, that their position is filled too. So we're filling multiple different positions, right? You know what I mean? So we want to make sure that the right commanders are chosen, and not just, you know, put people and fill spots just to fill spots. But this will happen within the next few weeks.
Okay, thank you. And the other question I have, one of the people for the interview was a Deputy Inspector Coleman, and he mentioned that in reference to what he's done, and I think it was approved by the NYPD headquarters, for traffic agents to ticket the 311 police calls, which will relieve a lot of the officers instead of going follow with the 311 traffic.
I was not aware of that, so I can't talk on that.
Yeah, it's a pilot program.
Yeah, it's a pilot, but I spoke to some of the officers down, and when they heard that, they said, "Oh my God, that would be great," because that would relieve
them to more
Yes.
911 jobs.
The other thing is that a lot of the people in the community, you know, through speaking with the community board, they've indicated that at night especially, that if they do call, you know, for a situation, whatever, that there seems to be a big backlog. And I want to know how many of the vehicles go out at night from the precinct. I don't know, because a lot of the vehicles, some are damaged, some are being fixed, so is there a certain amount that should be going out, but is not going out? Because that's having, with that particular
And what
problem.
precinct
Is
is this?
109.
It's
109?
Yeah, so we, there's what we call minimum manning. It's the appropriate number of vehicles that should be out each tour. And that's something that we monitor on a tour-by-tour basis. So we use all the officers. It's not everyone that's in the command, whether they're in an administrative function, whether they're our traffic safety officer, whether our domestic violence officer. We use everybody. So we make sure that we're putting out as many vehicles as we can to answer 911, 311 jobs, to address issues and conditions that are going on. And this is monitored on a tour-by-tour basis in every precinct. So if there's deficiencies or deficits, we become aware of it, and we try to work around to get other officers into those spots. But rest assured, any officer that's there, we're putting them out to.
But if you don't have the amount, of vehicles, because some are in the shops, some are. You know.
We're doing okay with vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have time for one more question. I'm sorry.
we're gonna go to Daniela, Community Board 2.
I'll take yours afterwards.
Sorry. Thank you for being here. And I just do want to start that we had an incident about 2 weeks ago that we thought was anti-Semitism. It turned out not to be, but the 108, which is the precinct where I am, was incredibly helpful and like got on the phone with me, got on the phone with another board member, went directly to the scene, like really got involved, and I really, really appreciate it. But my actual question, I kind of agree with everything that's been said, but my question, and it's much more of a quality of life issue, is the double parking on the sidewalk that goes on in Long Island City, and I would say Woodside are the worst two areas, but throughout my entire district. You can't walk on the sidewalk. It's just like, it's terrible. And like, we already have bikes and scooters on the sidewalk instead of in the bike lane, and now we have cars on the sidewalk. And I know the 108 tries to address it, and it seems like it works for a couple days, and then the cars are back. Some of it is Silver Cup Studios, but a lot of it is just, I don't know why. It's not where the illegal cannabis shops are. It's just everywhere. And it's really frustrating, and it's probably the #1 thing we get complaints about.
If there are specific areas that come up, please, reach out to the command, reach out to Captain Long, and I'll use my contact information too, and we'll say what's up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you have time for one more?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so that's the Patrick.
Yeah.
Do you have a mic, Patrick?
I don't think so.
You don't need a mic.
No, just for the YouTube.
Right, for YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Live stream.
no worries. Got it.
All right, is that good?
Yes, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Patrick Trincasi, Community Board 5, 104th Precinct. I'm the Vice Chair of Public Safety as well as the Chair of the Cannabis. So I agree with pretty much everyone's sentiments that they spoke about that. I'll try and limit my question so I don't take up too much of your time. I'm looking at the CompStat numbers specifically for the 104, and the 104 does a phenomenal job. They are on top of everything. We're a relatively low activity precinct, but according to them and according to our numbers, they are understaffed from previous staffing. And to the best of my knowledge, talking to the other gentleman who was speaking about, there's only about 4 cars out, and we're like the largest precinct in Queens in terms of square mileage.
Yeah, I think Queen 05 is 105 that would be. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're one of the largest ones.
Yeah.
The CompStat numbers show pretty much an increase across the board within the precinct. Is there a larger plan to get more staff into the precinct?
Well, I have to look into the 104. I don't have that answer, and I don't have their staffing in front of me. We will go back and we'll look at their staffing. But if they severely need officers, we would know that, and I would know that for a fact. But we'll look at it, and we'll look at how low their numbers and their staffing are. Absolutely.
I mean, just generally speaking, there's 3 major neighborhoods, and according to what they're saying is we can't get more than 1 car per neighborhood at any given time.
That's not accurate. Because every command is an NCO, a neighborhood coordination command.
Right, but they only work one shift.
So you have so the NCO command meaning 104. Sector Adam will have a steady Sector Adam, and I'm just going to talk about the second platoon, all 3 platoons. Sector Adam has on all 3 platoons a Sector Adam, right? That's assigned to Sector Adam. Then they have a response order. So it could be response order 1, response order 2, assigned to that geographical sector. So Sector Adam can have Sector Adam, 1 car, and the response 1. So there's 2 cars in 1 sector. So now you go to Sector Boyd. You'll have Sector Boyd, Sector Boyd, and then you have response order 2. So that reporting is inaccurate.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Deputy Commissioner, for your time. I want to thank everyone for attending today's Borough Board meeting, as well as to our presenters. I want to also thank the rest of my staff here at Borough Hall for the planning of this meeting. Our next Borough Board meeting will be held on Monday, December 4th at 5:30. I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving in advance. Thank you very much. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.